What's up, guys? This is Kyle from Vapor Hut, driven by you, fueled by vapor. And today I'm going to be doing a review on Aspire's first temperature control device, the Pegasus. So the Pegasus is a 70-watt temperature control device, and it's basically automatic. When you put on a nickel build, you don't have to tell it it's a nickel build. You don't have to put it into temperature control. You don't even have to set your ohms. When you put on a Kanthal build, you don't have to tell it it's a Kanthal build. It's basically one of those where you pop on your tank and then, oh, it's in temperature control. I'm adjusting Fahrenheit. And you pop on a tank that's Kanthal and you go, oh, it's Kanthal. I'm adjusting wattage. It reads the coil for you. Now that's good and bad. For a new user, hey, you don't have to deal with messing with settings. You don't have to deal with wattage when you're in temperature control and figuring out what kind of watts you like. You just adjust your temperature to taste. One of the bad parts about it being automatic is it doesn't always work. I popped on a nickel build and I was vaping on it for about 5 minutes until I realized it didn't even read it as a nickel build. So I had to unscrew it, pop it back on, and it's kind of got a weird way. I'll show you in the close-up how this works, but it's got a weird way of sensing what type of coil it is. You pop on a nickel coil or a nickel tank and you hold the firing button for 4 seconds so it reads what kind of coil it is. The problem with that is if I put on a nickel build and it's firing just a straight voltage. It's not regulating that at all for those 4 seconds. So you run the risk of burning your cotton right out of the gate. So if you are doing a nickel build and you're putting it on your Pegasus, make sure you juice up that coil and the wick really well, because it's not going to be utilizing temperature control right when you put it on. So right now I'm using the Smock TFV4 on the Pegasus. The nickel build I have in its RBA is coming in at 0.14 ohms, and I'm running it at 420 degrees Fahrenheit. Check it out. Temperature control absolutely works. 420 seems to be the sweet spot. When I went much higher than that, I seem to get dry hits here and there. So I don't know if that's the chip or that's my build and my wicking method that's resulting in the dry hit. But yeah, it seems to work well. So let's go ahead and dive into the close-up, and I'll show you Aspire's Pegasus all up close and personal. So here's the box the Aspire Pegasus comes in. And although it says it comes with an 18650 battery, mine did not have one in here, so I don't know. And there she is. Comes with a user manual. And then a USB charging cable. It's one of those flat cables, so it rolls up nice. So here is the Pegasus. As you can see, it's got this nice brushed aluminum on the bottom. We got our battery door, and all you do is slide this out and let go. Pops up, battery comes right out, positive and goes in first. And then you just pull this back and slide it in. Really cool battery hatch. I really like that. Got our USB charging port on the bottom if you're not using the dock. This is a floating or spring-loaded 510 connection. And then we have this little wheel or adjustment gear, as Aspire calls it, under the top plate. And that wheel extends on either side. So you can spin it with both fingers like this, or you could just use one. But I found with both fingers it's a little easier to spin. And basically what that does is if you go counterclockwise, so spinning left, it will go up. Whether you're in temperature, it'll increase your temperature, and if you're in wattage, it'll increase your wattage. And if you go clockwise with that wheel, it will go down. Nice little clicky firing button. And 5 clicks will lock the device. And the last kind of cool feature on the Pegasus is the screen will orientate automatically. So as soon as we flip the device over, the screen flips over, and it's really fast. So you're never caught like waiting like you are with a cell phone sometimes. Very quick. And here is the dock sold separately for the Pegasus. You just plug that in with the USB cord there on the back, and all you have to do is set your device in there and it charges. Kind of a cool idea. You just put this next to your computer on your desk and just charge your device each night. Okay, so as you can see right now, we are in temperature control mode. We got the Fahrenheit spinning, the little adjustment gear is adjusting only our temperature. And you can't see wattage when you're using temperature control. It's only temperature. So I'm going to go ahead and pop on a tank that's using a Canthal build and show you how this automatic coil sensing chip seems to work. So right now it's still reading Fahrenheit. I'm going to go ahead and press and hold the firing button for about 4 seconds. And once I do that, it recognizes it is not a temperature control coil and it changes to wattage. And now adjusting that wheel adjusts my watts. So now to go back to temperature control, I'm going to take the Smock TFV4 that has a nickel build in it and screw that on. And as you can see, it still thinks we're in wattage because it hasn't read the coil yet. So I'm going to hold the firing button for 4 seconds. 2, 3, 4, and now it's in Fahrenheit. So kind of neat that it automatically picks up what type of coil you're using, so it's kind of dummy proof in that sense. But at the same time, before, when I first put this tank on, I noticed if you don't hold it for 4 seconds, it will keep it in wattage even if you're doing a nickel coil. So really make sure if you're putting on a different type of coil, you hold the firing button for 4 seconds, it will fire the tank, but then it gives the chip a chance to read what type of coil it is and put it in the respective setting. So that is the stylish and functional Pegasus by Aspire, their first temperature control device. So that's the Pegasus, Aspire's first temperature control device. Honestly, I think this has got a lot of cool features going for it. I'm digging the battery, the trap door, how it pops in and out. It's super easy to flip out batteries. I'm digging the wheel adjuster here at the top to adjust your temperature or your wattage. And I really like the fact that there's a dock. Being that there's removable batteries, I can't see myself utilizing that dock as much as I would for, let's say, that if the EVIC VT had a dock, I could totally see myself just popping that thing down and letting the internal battery charge up. But since this has removable batteries, why would you put it on the dock? You know, you might as well have a battery charger. You just pop out your battery and put in a new one. So the dock feature, although it's cool, I don't think it's that useful for a device like this. You might as well just have extra batteries and have them charged. But with that said, if this is your first temperature control device and you're buying just one battery, the dock is a cool idea. At the end of the day, just sit it on your dock and let it charge up. So you don't have to deal with plugging in the USB, although you have that option. So the Pegasus is going for $79.99 here at Vapor Hut right now, and the charging dock is $29.99. So you get the pair, it's about 110 bucks, and then you're able to just pop your device right on that charging dock to charge it at night. Well, this has been Kyle from Vapor Hut, driven by you, fueled by vapor. Have a great day, guys.